So this is a core Essbase concept. So dimension have the dense property. Yeah, so here we have just discussed about the dimension type, that is sparse and dense. So we will understand again that what is sparse and dense dimension accurately. So under a dense dimension, uh, it has many members with the data values. Think of a period or account dimension as space storage data blocks based on the intersection of the dense dimension. Under the sparse dimension, we have few members with the data values. So here we can understand under the sparse dimension, we have a few members like the data values. So we have a members few members with data value, and under the sparse, under the dense dimension, we have many members with data values, many members with data values. In the alias table, we have alias table are like nicknames for your members. They make it easier for users to find, understand the data. Even we also have the property that is user defined attributes. So user defined attribute are a way to attach an attribute or tag to a member without affecting its place in the hierarchy. For example, in a product dimension, you could add a UDA called new product or a discontinued. This allow you to easily filter and report on members based on these attributes, which is powerful tool for reporting and business rules. So we will do some recap what we have studied so far. So first we have talked about the data storage, that what is data storage, that this is arguably the most fundamental property. It tells Essbase how to handle data for a specific member. Under that we have understand the store data, dynamic calc and store, and the never share, also the label only property, where we have discussed the store data, that this is the default, that data is physically stored at this member level. All the base level members must be stored data. For the dynamic calc is concerned, this is a powerful Essbase feature. The value for this member is not stored, it is calculated on the fly. When user retrieves it, this is a great for performance as it reduces the size of your queue and the need for frequent consolidation. Use it for things like various calculation or complex ratios. Then another thing that we have, it is dynamic calc and store. So it calculates the value dynamically but also stores in its database. This is used for specific scenarios and can impact the performance and the storage. Then we have the never share property, that this is used for members that are calculated and do not need to roll up to a parent. It's often seen with the text base or the historical data points. After that we have the addition ones. The addition. So the addition, the most common operator, the member value is added to its parent member. Then we have the subtraction. It's all about the member's value is subtracted from the parent, perfect from perfect from the expenses. After that we have a multiplication. So it used for specific calculations like calculating a percentage of a parent or multiplying two members together. Even we have the percentage, that is very crucial point. So calculate the percent, and then we have discussed two pass calculation, that a two pass calculation ensures that a member formula or a consolidation is evaluated after the first pass of the calculation process. So it considered a member like gross margin with a calculated as in revenue minus cost of goods sold. So if a gross margin is a dynamic calc member, it might not consolidate correctly up this hierarchy because it's calculated before the parent's value are fully consolidated. By setting the two pass calculation property, you ensure that Essbase calculates gross margin after the initial consolidation pass, guaranteeing the correct value at all levels of the hierarchy. This property is essentially for calculated members that rely on other consolidated members. Now let's look at some properties specific to the time and calculation or the account dimension. These are crucial for financial reporting and planning. So we have discussed the time balance properties. So this property tells Essbase how consolidate data across the time dimension. It is especially relevant for the account dimension. Like we have the flow. This is for accounts that represent movement over a period like sales or expense. This data is for January and the Feb are summed. We have the balance also. This is for accounts that represents a snapshot at a point in a time, like cash or accounts receivable. So Essbase takes the value from the last child of the period. For example, the quarter 1 balance for the cash is the same as the March value. Even in the variance reporting, this is an account specific property that dictates how variance is calculated and displayed. So under this we have discussed about the non-expense and the expense component. For revenue like accounts, a positive variance is favorable. Essbase calculates actual and the budget. As far expense as concerned, so for expense like accounts, a positive variance is unfavorable. Essbase calculates the budget minus actual. So this is a powerful property that standardizes variance reporting across your application, ensuring consistency without needing to write custom formulas for every variance member. Now we have also thrown some light on the dimension type, that what are the dimension type. So there are basically two types of dimension type. First one is sparse and another one is dense. So this is the core Essbase concept. So what is the dichotomy or the difference between the sparse and the dense dimension? So the major thing is that dense dimension have many members with the data values. Think of a period or account dimension as which store data blocks based on the intersection of the dense dimension. And sparse dimension have a few members with the data values. Think of an entity or a product dimension. Essbase only creates data blocks when a value exists at a sparse intersection, which is a major factor in performance. Even we have also thrown some light on the UDA, that what is UDA. So UDAs are a way to attach an attribute or tag to a member without affecting its place in the hierarchy. Like for example, in a product dimension, you could add a UDA called new product or a discontinued. This allows you to easily filter and report on members based on these attributes, which is a powerful tool for reporting and the business rules. So we have covered the most important Essbase properties today, from the fundamental data storage and the consolidation operators to move advanced concepts like two pass calculation and time balance. Remember, understanding these properties is key to building an efficient and performant application and ensuring accurate data consolidation. The last thing that we have to keep into the consideration, that creating meaningful and consistent reports is very much essential for for smooth work of the instance under the professional that do the same thing as follows. So thank you for all your time and attention. I hope this session has been valuable. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day.